is reorganized.
President Yoweri Museveni has extended his Gospel of Wealth Creation tour to Kalangala district. Kalangala is among districts embracing oil palm growing, which output caught the eye of the president. Sesanga Deogracious is one of the outstanding oil palm growers with 12 acres who makes 7 million shillings per acre and over 90 million shillings per year. Sesanga took a tour with the president into his farm.
Project eno tuyambye nnyo okutujja mu mbeera gye twalimu eri okuva wansi okutuuka wano wetuli Sebo President. N'ekirala erinnya Sesanga Deogracious. Sebo olw'essanyu eringi bakwasi bwe batugenda komona batwaye tuseeyo ku faamu lyako Sebo. Faamu eriko ebinazi twasobola n'okufuna mu binazi omwe tujjamu n'ente eri awo.
The president expressed gratitude towards the people of Kalangala for embracing wealth creation.
Wano walinga California bw'olaba obulungi bw'embeera y'obutonde kati ebyo nabyo muleeta ebiteeso bye tusobola okukozesa okwongeramu amaanyi tourism amahoteeri biki ndowooza ekigambo ekikulu awo ntambula.
President Museveni requested the people of Kalangala to consider adding dairy and poultry farming to oil palm growing in order to create more wealth. The locals used the chance to share some of the challenges facing Kalangala district with the president. Among the pertinent issues included unstable electricity, poor transport, among others.
Naye n'amasanyalaze eno gakosa nnyo abantu bano abalina zi hotel.
Tugenda okulaba engeri gala amasanyalaze g'abaana n'ekolera gyange gavumenti enokuyingiramu neyekola ku masanyalaze gano.
Baatusuubiza kebo naye tejja. Naye Sebo unit okugisasula 10 n'ekintu sente nnyingi.
Kale amasanyalaze ngenda kukikolako tuleme okulekera abasese kubalekera abasuubuzi bokka. Kati n'olwekyo kinkoze bulungi okujja eno naye ensonga enkulu kati ebyentambula ebizinga ebyo 64 ebiriko abantu amaato tuyinza kufuna amaato agawerako ebidyeri wano amaato we cannot fail to tuyinza kufuna amaato eryato limu nilikola ku bizinga 3.
On the issues surrounding the fishing sector in Kalangala, the president is to engage elders in the Sese Islands to ensure that the sector is reorganized.
N'olwekyo sinayingira mu byakeegi biki njagala tusooke tutereeze ani avubira wano. Tuyinza kwewereza emyezi ng'ena ne tukitereeza oluvannyuma ne tutandika ne twongerako.
President Museveni was informed by the chairperson of Kalangala, Rajab Semakula, that oil palm growing is now one of the main economic activities in Kalangala, and out of the 53.1 billion the government injected in as a loan to oil palm farmers, they have repaid 52.68 billion shillings to the consolidated fund, and the project has transformed livelihoods in the region, whereby on average an outgrower earns 1.6 million shillings from oil palm monthly. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
The commissioning of the Kikagati-Murongo hydropower plant in Isinjiro district by President Yoweri Museveni and President Samia Suluhu is a major achievement for the Uganda Republic and the United Republic of Tanzania. The Build, Own, Operate, Transfer project with a 20-year power purchase agreement is expected to transform livelihoods and the economies of Southwest Uganda and Northwest Tanzania. Details in this report.
Kikagati-Murongo hydropower plant is a cross-border project owned 90% by Africa Renewable Energy and Barclay Energy. Constructed on Kagera River, the largest tributary of Lake Victoria, the plant has a 14 megawatts power generation capacity and a project guarantee of 100 years.
Because the people want development, want transformation. The potential is there, but the ones in charge are not seeing it. So I want to thank His Excellency Magufuli, because you hear we started on this in 2005, nothing could move. Until 2018, that's when President Magufuli came, and I told him, I said, oh, you know, Magufuli will waste no time. He authorized it. And when Samia came, we went ahead. So, nawashukuru sana.
And I must say that the power generated here shall improve a lot of things. One, it's going to improve trading and investment in this region. It's going to improve the transport and transportation of people and goods, and so trade activities. It's going to improve social services, clean and safe water, sound health services, better schooling, contemporary teaching modalities.
The plant will sell its power to the national grid, and the consumers will pay US cents 8.5 per kilowatt hour for the electricity generated. President Yoweri Museveni, however, implored the developers to make the cost cheaper.
This price of 8.5 cents per unit is not a Christian idea. What can we do about this eventually? How can we bring it down? Because we are insisting that power, especially for manufacturing, should be about 5 cents.
The project has all the makings of being a major catalyst in transformation of livelihoods and the economies of southwest Uganda and northwest Tanzania.
We've come from a long way, and hydropower is supposed to be cheap. So we shall work towards reducing the units. But this requires investing government money in generation, in transmission. The more you borrow money expensively, the more you will see expensive power.
We have Masaka Mwanza transmission line that is being thought about. There is Nsongezi hydro that we are also talking about. We have a gas pipeline from Tanzania to Uganda that we are discussing. We have this project as well that has brought us here today. So you can see we have a number of energy projects that we are planning, we want to do, and we are already doing.
Owned equally by the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of Uganda, the Build, Own, Operate and Transfer project with a 20-year power purchase agreement cost the developers US $100 million. With the plant fully operational, the next important phase, according to Barclay Energy, is the setting up of an efficient power evacuation infrastructure and enhancement of last-mile connections.
That the project can generate 16 megawatts, and it would be to the benefit of both countries to increase the power uptake to serve the ever-increasing demand. We expect that the full 16 megawatt capacity would be absorbed by the electricity demand in the region as early as 2024.
The local leadership of Isingiro district lauded the two governments for the initiative and vowed to protect the investment and the environment in order to sustain power generation for generations.
I want to assure you, my brother, I want to assure the whole country that we shall do what it takes to conserve this river.
There is also economic empowerment. Many small-scale industries are coming up and they are going to partake of this power.
Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Uganda has unveiled its second fiber optic cable route to the Indian Ocean. When fully operational, the internet cable that is already physically connected will offer Uganda internet stability and reliability. The new development makes Tanzania a major gateway for internet in the region and Uganda a supply potential hub. Details follow.
Uganda has over the years relied 100% on the Kenya eastern route to Mombasa for access to the internet sea cable. But that is bound to change after the launch of an alternative fiber optic cable route through Tanzania.
We have already connected the backbone at Mutukura. That's the one from Dar es Salaam to Mutukura and Kampala to Mutukura. We have already connected the backbone so that we can be able to share data and all aspects of connectivity. This is going to help us reduce the cost of data, the cost of internet.
The new route will pick internet from undersea providers in the Indian Ocean. The physical connection has already been done, but what remains is enabling the internet to run on top of the infrastructure.
And that route now will pick internet from our undersea providers in the Indian Ocean through Dar es Salaam to Dodoma, up Mwanza to Mutukula, or Mutukula as the Tanzanians call it. And then from Mutukula, we as NITA and the Ministry of ICT have also brought a fiber optic cable from Kampala and throughout the country connecting to Mutukula. So now we have interconnected the two networks of Tanzania and Uganda. It now provides us a secondary alternative route from Dar es Salaam.
Introducing an additional route brings competition, and eventually the price of internet is expected to drop significantly.
Internet now is still not at the price it needs to be lowered. So by introducing an additional route, we're actually introducing competition now, and the price should significantly go down. But we're also providing security for our internet traffic. Why should we have only one route? If there is some intermittent drop from one direction of Mombasa, we should now have an alternative route through Dar es Salaam.
Besides the fiber connection, the two countries are also on the verge of harmonizing telecommunication, says Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, the Minister for ICT.
We are reducing and removing the roaming charges. We have removed taxes on the incoming calls from Tanzania. So beginning next financial year, when you make a phone call to Tanzania, it should be the same as if you are making a phone call within Uganda.
Dennis Igor and Juman Samba for UBC News.
Uganda Police force officers are currently undergoing training on the proper usage of advanced gadgets, including the thermal red eye and pack eye designed specifically for detecting radioactive sources. This training coincides with the arrival of pilgrims in Namugongo for the Martyrs' Day celebrations. The trained officers will play a crucial role in maintaining a secure environment throughout the Namugongo event by effectively identifying potential threats and minimizing the risks associated with radioactive sources. They will contribute to the overall safety of all participants, allowing them to commemorate the occasion with peace of mind.
The Atomic Energy Council periodically conducts training sessions for security agencies on handling radioactive detection devices while minimizing their own exposure to radiation and protecting the population they serve.
You are searching. I come with my bag. The Smith opened my bag, then I check what is inside. Because if my bag is contaminated and you are checking, you are going to transfer the contamination to other people.
The Police Counterterrorism Unit is a frequent beneficiary of these engagements as they are responsible for detecting and preventing terror threats. They have been trained to use various gadgets such as the thermal red eye and pack eye, which are used to detect radioactive sources.
The backpack, which can be used to do the sweep before the event usually. So prior to the celebrations, we have to move around to ensure that nothing is kept within such a place before.
These training sessions enable officers to be prepared for events that attract a large number of people, ensuring the safety of everyone involved. These officers will be deployed to oversee the Namugongo events. However, Dealing with such an event requires the deployment of more baggage scanners to have wider detection coverage.
I want to thank the Atomic Energy Council because they have really supported us in this, especially the frontline officers. So we have the capacity to deal with any threat of terrorism, whether nuclear, whether bombing situations or armed attack. So as I talk in our preparations, I will not give the details, but we have about 3 layers of protection of that event.
So whenever we have such events, we deploy the equipment into the field, and then when they are done using it, then they return it back into the custody of the Atomic Energy Council.
Personnel from the Uganda People's Defence Forces, the Bomb Squad, Internal Affairs, Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Unit, CMI, the Special Forces Command and other security agencies have also attended these training sessions. Mutonyi Hilda and Ivan Kahwa, UBC.
Now, 5 bodies have so far been recovered by a Red Cross emergency rescue team and other volunteers from the mudslide following yesterday's downpour in Masugu village, Buluganya sub-county, Bulambuli district. The residents in this district are calling upon government and the office of the Prime Minister to rescue them from the with urgent relief support and relocate them to safer areas.
And the soils became weaker. So the soils started mudsliding from up there until they came and poured this house down, pushed this house down, and a number of people died. So far, as of now, we have retrieved 5 bodies. 1 was retrieved yesterday, and 4 have been retrieved by Wanayinchi. And one of them, he was a shelter taker. He had come for shelter, take shade when it was raining.
Twagezezaako jjo okujjayo bannaffe mu ttaka naye tekyasobose kubanga twatuseewo leeti ne tugezaako naye nga effort gye twabadde nayo twabadde ne manpower ntono. Nebadde tusaba gavumenti etuddukirire etwanguyire kubanga bannaffe abamu twasuze wabweru tetwasobodde kusula mu nnyumba olw'entiisa gye twabadde naye nnyingi kubanga amazzi gasigadde gadduka ekiro kyonna nga naffe tweraliikiridde nga tetumanyi oba tuwona oba tetuwona. Nebadde tusaba batuweeyoko ku by'okukozesa.
Kale kataano baba anga mbeere kabi yabeerewo yeekukwako yeekuzeebu ne ambutye nukikolereko kuli bubi batu kubange maaso kunya kwatulona fe kwazi ne maaso bana befe begana kuleke baje ekirabo bonewe tayali lisomero lyazi kawo mwana oli kweza ko kulukuza kweza ko kuda.
I will not open on Monday. Why? Because the place now where Kidwen will be is now spoiled. No food. The food we had collected by the parents brought are now also washed away. Latrines are not there. We could be used by the learners.
Upon us, the government, to find a remedy or solution to this. And one of the remedies to this is to acquire land, the down belt, so that we can give free land to our people so that they can leave the cliffs, go and get houses down there and land for cultivation, as we have done ever. Because, the first incident, we had an incident some 2 years back where even the Baduda got problems and we also them in Nambuti.
Uganda Judicial Officers Association members have raised concern over Judicial Service Commission's delay in handling disciplinary cases filed against judicial officers. The President, Uganda Judicial Officers Association, Jude Tadeo Asimwe, says that the delay interferes with service delivery.
Uganda Judicial Officers Association have held their annual general meeting at the judiciary headquarters in Kampala. In the meeting, the association president Tadeo Asimwe presented the annual report of 2022, which highlighted achievements and challenges, among others limited funds to run the association.
These are temporary challenges. Solutions are being found, and we know these are short-term challenges. In the long run, those will end, and also our association will get more support and more funding. Even our members will have more funds to contribute by way of subscription. So we expect these financial challenges to be temporary, not permanent.
During the meeting, members articulated concern towards the Judicial Service Commission for delay in handling disciplinary cases filed against the judicial officers.
Judicial officers can settle and do their work because in a way it demotivates their work when they think there is a complaint hanging around their neck. So faster disposal of disciplinary complaints will go a long way in improving the delivery of justice in the judiciary.
The meeting was attended by the Inspector of Courts, Amos Kwizera, who pointed out the challenge of corruption tendencies among some judicial officers, which tarnished the judiciary's image.
Let me end my remarks, like I said, my remarks by calling upon you to do as you expected by management. Not only by management, the public has an expectation of you. Just know they are looking at you, the public is looking at you, management is looking at you, and the other stakeholders are looking at you. So what is my call is that all of us do what is expected of us, deliver justice to all as our vision says.
It is not something the Judicial Service Commission condones, it is something which needs to stop in the new judiciary because people's salaries have been enhanced, so there is no justification whatsoever for a judicial officer to engage in such conduct. There is no sweeping anything under the carpet. The issues will be dealt with precisely.
Tade Wasimwe also highlighted on the incoming East African Magistrates and Judges Association Conference that will be held in Uganda this year.
And it will be, Uganda was selected in Kigali to host this year's conference. And preparations have started. As we discuss issues pertaining to administration of justice of all the member associations in the entire East African region. And we do engage in collegiality activities and discuss innovations.
Uganda Judicial Officers Association is an umbrella association that brings together judges, registrars, and magistrates. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
The Central Executive Committee members led by retired Captain Mike Mukula are still traversing Busoga sub-region, interacting with different lower party leaders and members. This time round, they have challenged all leaders to desist from sectarianism, but rather champion the manifesto implementation. Let's have a look at these details.
The National Resistance Movement Party Vice Chairperson for Eastern Uganda, Captain Mike Mugulu, has rallied party leaders in Busoga sub-region to shun sectarianism as they work towards the implementation of the 2021-2026 party manifesto. Mugulu has made these remarks during the field engagements with a section of NRM party leaders from Busoga sub-region as part of the SEKE's members' national-wide tours.
The connection between here and Kayunga makes it easier to move from here to Kampala. The roads like Kamuli to Bukungu are projects which are a contract between the government of Uganda or the NRM in the manifesto, which is going to be implemented. Electricity, service delivery. The ferry will be ready by middle of this year. And I want to say that all those pledges are being fulfilled. It is a work in progress.
Other SEC members on the trip includes Jacqueline Chatuhaire, the Deputy Treasurer NRM, and Dr. Tango Doi, the Chairperson Electoral Commission.
Disappear at the parish level when you are there. Because this is our flagship as a party. In these 5 years.
I'm not here as Dr. Tango Doi.
Yes.
To be compared to everyone.
Yes.
Give me the issues which are difficult. Stop comparing me with a person I should not compare with. Hand over the microphone. Next.
The concerns are not different from what has been so far raised by residents and party leaders from other districts in the sub-region.
have picked the barometric feel of the people on the ground, what the people want, what went wrong before, what needs to be done to correct, and what they need to have addressed. We are going to make these presentations to the Central Executive Committee, chaired by His Excellency the President and the President of Uganda. These recommendations are quite strong, and we think that Kamuli has come fully back to the fold of the national resistance movement.
These tours are mainly intended to bridge the gap of communication between the leaders and those being led. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Members of the General Assembly Mosque have elected Dr. Muonge Haruna as Mulago Hospital Mosque Management Committee Chairperson, deputized by Haruna Mwanje. The President, Islamic Medical Association of Uganda, Professor Majid Kajimu, said that religion is a major pillar in building professionalism with prayer and patience. The newly elected chairman, Mulago Mosque, Dr. Muonge Haruna, promised to put in action all recommendations geared at putting the mosque forward.
The building of Mulago Hospital Mosque was spearheaded by Muslim professionals working in Mulago Hospital and is a place where all medical trainings were done in Uganda. The President, Islamic Medical Association of Uganda, also a board member of the Mosque Management Committee, Professor Majid Kajimu, urged the newly elected members to prioritize prayer and patience.
Religion is a major pillar in the education and building of professionalism of all professions. We pray, number one, to ask God to give us health so that we can look after our patients and colleagues and clients. If you're not healthy, there's no way you can look after your colleagues. So prayers are extremely important in professionalism. That's why we are very pleased with the administration of Mulago Hospital, which set up places of worship for all the faiths around here in Mulago.
Professor Kajimu called for personal responsibilities among the health professionalism and warned them from pride.
Pillar number 5 is pride in our team. We don't do this work alone. The building of this mosque was done by a community effort led by the Islamic Medical Association of Uganda. And we are grateful for those who contributed. One of the major contributors was African Muslim Agency. And other people who came in to assist, including our own members who are working here. So we thank all of those who have been participating to make sure that we build this institution for the sake of improving the health care of our communities.
The newly elected chairperson, Mulago Hospital Mosque Management Committee, Dr. Muonge Haruna, said they will extensively consult from the board of the mosque for guidance.
The board of the mosque has members who were partly part of the building of the mosque, but have also prevailed over the smooth running of the mosque up to where it is right now. And we hope and pray that we shall cultivate all the experience they have gained all over the years. Experience in conflict resolution to make sure that we actually move the mosque from where it is to hopefully where it's going to be in the future, which we hope will be a very good place and better than what it is right now.
Dr. Muonge Haruna was elected as chairman Mulago Hospital Mosque Management Committee, deputized by Dr. Haruna Mwanje, with Dr. Dungu Ahmed, the Secretary General, Sarah Narwama, Treasurer, Samia Khalid Nakagoro, the Secretary, Student Affairs. The elected leaders asked God to guide them in their new task. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Experts have urged government to develop a differentiated model of service delivery to integrate family planning services with HIV implementation programs. The study by Makerere University School of Public Health has recommended designing of special guidelines to incorporate antiretroviral differentiated service delivery models in selected regions to enhance accessibility.
Family planning and HIV integration into the differentiated service delivery model is considered to be an integral one-stop center of service accessibility. Both family planning and HIV viral load refill at the same point.
It's important that you get them at the same point, not only the same time, but same point. You come for HIV medication at your HIV clinic. Now it is the same clinic that you can also get your family planning supplies.
Women who receive family planning services and methods through referrals experience long waiting time and have to make multiple visits to the health facilities. Makerere University School of Public Health recommends special integration guidelines.
After you have written it in the policy, now write it down. For example, say when a woman comes for HIV medication, give them family planning if they're interested for the same period as the HIV medication. If you have given them HIV medication for 3 months, also give them a supply of family planning methods or pills for 3 months.
The model is challenged with staff shortage, stockouts of family planning supplies, and limited physical space with privacy. Experts are pushing for capacity building of stable clients.
Let's use expert clients, maybe. These are clients who have been on HIV medication for a long time. They are very familiar with the system. Maybe they can help now to dispense family planning services while you continue with the HIV medication. But that arrangement is not common across the board. But as long as this is put in place, probably that could help solve the problem.
Self-care is another opportunity which government is urged to emphasize by providing necessary information to the public in line with family planning accessibility. The report has indicated limited awareness of the fertility rate, which determines the type of contraceptives to adopt.
We see that understanding of fertility is low. Many people don't know when a woman is more likely to get pregnant in their cycle. Without knowing this, then there are methods that people cannot use, like the fertility awareness methods, but also knowing that at some point, if I want to get pregnant, this is what I need to do to get pregnant. Those are important things, and that's where the beginning of self-care is. But also in knowledge of the methods that women and men can use in a self-care model was low. Like many people thought that every method can be used in a self-care model, but there are methods you cannot use without going to a provider, like implants or contraceptive devices like the IUDs.
Minister of Health is called upon to create a common understanding of self-care for family planning among key players and create awareness on fertility while tapping into the digital tools. This will make self-care products affordable and accessible. Abdul Nasiri Luwama and Lydia Chomkama for UBC.
Climate change advocates and organizations of East African member countries have called on developed countries for justices in climate change adaptation measures in developing countries. They projected for global engagements, including mass local sensitization and appropriate technologies to be adopted in developing countries to mitigate effects of climate change ahead of the global conventions. This was at a regional meeting in Kampala organized by Support for Women in Agriculture and Environment with aid from Climate Action Africa.
I put it here. I put it here.
With financial assistance from Alinea Canada in partnership with Climate Action Africa, global climate change experts and organizations from Uganda, Kenya, Rwanda, Madagascar, Seychelles, South Sudan, Tanzania and Burundi have convened at Hotel Africana in Kampala to deliberate on climate change.
Uganda is looking at mitigation in terms of renewable energy, shifting to or intensifying the use of renewable energy, is looking at better ways of agricultural farming so that we minimize emission from, for example, methane from farming of rice, and also looking at the better methods of looking after animals to minimize emissions from the animals. There are other areas, the transport. How can we improve on the emission from our transport?
The regional meeting, organized by Support for Women in Agriculture and Environment, is discussing issues which will be presented at COP28 and SB58 global conventions in Dubai and Germany this year.
The disaster risk that we are facing is very high. People are already dying from the effects of climate change. People have died of floods, of landslides. People have died of droughts in the Horn of Africa. Not even very far in Karamoja, in the Turkana, and wherever, people have died. So for us, we want to quickly stop the death of people by adaptation. But also, we want also to take part in mitigation, reducing the greenhouse gases that are damaging the environment.
Experts propose the need to adopt indigenous knowledge from developing countries to be incorporated in the global adaptation climate change measures.
Enough is enough. We should minimize processes and translate the outcomes of these negotiations into actions in the communities where most people feel the adverse impacts of climate change. We should not leave the decisions within the city. We should not leave the decision in the shelves, in the papers. These decisions need to be developed into concepts, developed into projects, and actions being implemented for mitigation and adaptation.
The Executive Director, Support for Women in Agriculture and Environment, Gertrude Kenyangi, says affordable, appropriate climate change technologies should be established to enable local communities mitigate climate change effects through loss and damage fund.
For us, we are still stuck in the rut, we are still stuck in the old ways, we are still using fossil fuels, we are not making any effort to gravitate towards sustainable energy, for instance, because a lot of loss and damage is happening here in Africa. So we should be able to access that fund in a fair and equitable way. We should be able to put it to use in an efficient manner. We should be accountable about it.
COP28 is a comprehensive assessment of the progress made in achieving the goals of Paris agreements, while as SB58 is the 58th session for technological advice for implementation of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Sudat Kaye and Robert Whiter, UBC News.
Uganda National Roads Authority has embarked on the construction of various roads in the Greater Luweero district. This was during a function at which Dot Services Limited was being introduced to construct the long-awaited 2,000 from gravel to paved standards.
Government, in partnership with Arab Bank for Economic Development of Africa, is revamping Greater Luweero roads at a cost of 93 billion shillings. This was disclosed during a function held at Nakaseke District Headquarters and attended by local government leaders, members of parliament, and the contractor, Dot Services Construction Company, that is to undertake the road construction. The Nakaseke District Woman Member of Parliament, Sarah Najuma, and Nakaseke North Member of Parliament, Enoch Nyongore, attended the ceremony and commended the government for fulfilling the long-awaited pledge of upgrading roads in the area. They, however, encouraged communities to use these roads to fight poverty because they are vital to promote equal access to economic and social development opportunities across the country.
This is a historical road. This is the road that was used during the liberation period, during the liberation war, and as a way of giving back to the community, as a way of government giving back to the community. This road should be tarmacked from Luweero, Butalangu to Ngoma. And lastly, I request the community to cooperate with the contractors for the success of this project.
The road has been in a bad state. I am happy that when this contractor, Dot Services, is going to commence, we shall have also what is stayed up. Nobody was actually with favor to every leader because of the state of the road. But I want to make such an information that time has been numbered now. We shall move on a smooth road from Tarango to Nakaseke. And we are not going to stop here.
The communities also commended the government for prioritizing tarmacking these roads and promised to utilize them for poverty alleviation. The construction is set to commence in June 2023 and completion is expected for June 2025.
Abanakaseke tugamba government eveye tuyambe ngabwe yagamba nti wano wetuli mu government ya Museveni tuli Mecca eveye tuyambe eje tukolera amakubo
tusaba government nekubo lituononeseko nnyo bannango okuva ekapeeka okutuuka ebutalangu amazzi gasala gavumenti mutuyambizeko balabe mutukwalise ku kkubo ly'eŋŋoma naye ekkubo lisusse obubi emmotoka zaffe zitubira zifa.
Nalongo Dokas Kimono and Salongo Fred Kasibante, UBC TV News.
And apologies to mention the Luweero-Butalangu road is 29.72 kilometers, not as earlier mentioned. Now, advocates want government to levy taxes on menstrual products to enable affordability, thus decreasing the inequality gap and access to sanitary towels. These argue that the high prices of sanitary products leave many young girls and women vulnerable, with some dropping out of school. This comes at a time when Uganda prepares to commemorate Menstrual Hygiene Day on Sunday, 28th, 2023.
A packet of sanitary pads ranges from 3,000 to 4,000 shillings, which is relatively expensive, especially for girls living in rural areas. Over the years, research has shown that a number of girls miss and some drop out of school due to lack of sanitary pads. A call on tax exemption on these products would see their prices reduced, thus increasing access.
Let government reduce or actually remove taxes on each and every sanitary ware for the benefit of the mothers, for the benefit of girls of Uganda.
Reduce the tax or completely remove it on a product like a menstrual hygiene product, be it a disposable sanitary towel session. This can help us reduce the inequality, can help us reach more girls, more women.
There is need to increase awareness on menstrual hygiene, as it is a way to prevent diseases that result from poor hygiene.
Can create awareness in whichever way we do it. We will reach more people, we will stop the stigma, we reduce the inequality and encourage people to open up and probably use better products.
The journey towards achieving menstrual hygiene and access to sanitary towels requires further involvement, since this has often been left to mothers.
In positions of them being fathers, because the father protects, the father provides, the father gives surety in a home.
Miriam Numcha, UBC News.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripusi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *5*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the future of Uganda. And as a policy maker, the policies I enact today will protect her from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial *100 *10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100 *10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100 *10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Jerry Con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Bang Jerry Con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava. Best group I teach you. But I'm going to move to because of the camera is very far. Is you serious? It's serious, you. What? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru,
okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, and now in the world of business. Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner General John Musinguzi has asked all companies to embrace revenue compliance for the good of their businesses. Musinguzi, while officiating at the celebration of the 20 years of existence of Grant Thornton, challenged all companies and startup businesses to also embrace voluntary tax disclosure.
Grant Thornton is an accounting firm established in 1939 by Ambalala in India. The firm rolled out its services across the world in different countries including Tanzania, Kenya, Bahrain and Uganda, among others. Grant Thornton Certified Accounting Firm started official operations in Uganda in 2001, 20 years ago after approval.
We were attending a leadership development program together.
Amel Patel, the managing partner of Grant Thornton, says Uganda's environment has offered their firm all opportunities for success, growth, and room to embrace competition in the industry.
You have played an integral role in our collective success, and I thank you for that. Competition for the talent, hiring the new talent is tough. Clients, you expect more from us.
He says this, among others, helped the company also in grooming young leaders to take responsibility of the company and offer good clientele.
Each of these leaders has a strong team of individuals who support and amplify their efforts to achieve clients' deadlines and quality of deliverables.
In the last 5 years, the foundation managed to invest billions of monies in good governance, education, and health. The company also managed to come up with a 5-year business strategy to meet the dynamic demands of the future and trainings for young leaders. Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner General John Musenguzi officiated at the event, commended Grant Thornton Leadership Initiative for bringing about economic empowerment, youth employment, and practical employable skills development, which is vital for pre-career development.
It is evident that Grant Thornton has consistently helped its clients, the people, the community, to unlock the growth potential and the positive feedback that has been.
He, however, asked companies to embrace self-tax disclosure for positive growth of their companies.
But we also want to extend the same opportunity to you, because also you may have done something wrong. And it doesn't have to be deliberate. There are times when some income is not captured in your records.
Grant Thornton is one of the world's largest professional service networks of independent accounting and consulting member firms. Established in 1939 in Uganda, it was cleared in July 2001. The firm has several branches in different countries, including Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, India, and Bahrain, among others. Susan Naung and Stephen Kayumba reporting for ABC TV.
Let us now look at the performance on the money markets and Uganda Securities Exchange, as Patricia Lukoma explains in the Financial Markets Update.
In our financial markets this week, we start off with the forex market, where the shilling traded at 3,724.79 buying and 3,734.79 selling. A depreciation witnessed against the dollar. It continued to depreciate further against the pound and the euro and other currencies as previewed. At the close of this week today, the Uganda Securities Exchange recorded a total of 692,000 shares exchanging hands with a total turnover of 18.9 million shillings. Activity on the counter was minimal. All prices remained constant, only having 4 counters trading on the bows and recording Stanbic Bank Uganda Limited as the lead with 685,000 shares exchanging hands. Cipla traded at 70 shillings with only 1 transaction of 3 shares exchanging hands. Other counters like MTN Uganda and Wumeme registered 6,250 and 235 shares respectively. Stanbic Bank Uganda Limited, SBU, recorded a total turnover of 17.8 million shillings with 17 transactions on the counter. For UBC News, I'm Patricia Lukomampango.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or give.
Get freaky too! Dial star 100 star 10 hash to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial star 100 star 10 hash. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial star 100 star 10 hash to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
You are cordially invited to a special screening of my stage play, Biro, this May 28th at 5 p.m. at Uganda's National Theatre, where the play first held its world premiere 20 years ago, back in 2003.
So I'm very happy with what Ntari has done.
From there, the play went on to premiere in London, at the Public Theatre in New York, at the Market Theatre in South Africa, in the African Union Summit in Ethiopia, in Zimbabwe, Botswana, in Kenya, in Toronto, Los Angeles, and nearly a dozen countries around the globe. And now we're bringing this special screening of the play back home to Uganda. This is just one of many special events that the Uganda Film Festival is hosting in celebration of their 10th anniversary. I will be there in special attendance, and I hope to see you there soon. More details at the link below.
And now in the world of sports, as Uganda Broadcasting Corporation and NTV teams gear up for the much-anticipated cross-generational broadcast derby to be played on Sunday, 28th May 2023 at the Mutesa II Stadium in Wankulukuku. Lapea Uganda has partnered with both teams to host the match and offer eye care services to the public. Details in this report.
Lapea Uganda has partnered with UBC and NTV to host the upcoming UBC NTV broadcast derby that will be played on Sunday, 28th May 2023 at Wankulukuku. While announcing the partnership at their headquarters in Ntinda, the PRO for Lapea Uganda, Oliver Mwanko, stated that this derby is a platform that will help them further their promotion of eye care and safety among sportsmen and the public at large.
Organize a CSR match, football game, that is going to see NTV face of UBC. The goal for this CSR game is to raise, of course, awareness about this particular, sport safety, eye safety month. And on top of that, it's also a channel in which we are using to reach out to our communities to make an impact. The game is going to be held at the Wankulukuku Stadium. And that's going to be on Sunday, 28th of May. The gate opens at 10 a.m. And we are going to have a lot of activities that are going to take place right before the game. There will be tug of wars, there will be free eye checkup for the communities around, and many more.
The UBC team captain Ibrahim Kaima is excited at the partnership and the upcoming derby, saying it's a chance for his side to redeem itself as he promises victory.
The reason why we like such initiatives, which are corporate social responsibilities, Lapea is trying to do is try to raise awareness to community that these eye defects, these eye problems can easily happen, but better yet, they can easily be treated. So you don't have to be scared or seated at home. Come and get a free eye testing, and then later on, even the more funniest part is that you're going to get glasses at any affordable price with a total discount. So it's going to be a friendly match. Of course, there is a prize to be won, which is an ultimate prize. We have a golden trophy and some cash prize to be won. Nayenga, yeah, it's going to be at Wankulukuku. The gates will be open by 10 a.m. But our match particularly will kick off at around 4. p.m. Yeah, there's going to be more activities before our main match, which will be tug of war. We shall have okwepena, I don't know how they call it in English, but yeah, all these fun activities, all in the spirit of keeping the fun around and keeping the locals involved. And feel free to come because entrance is free for everybody, regardless of any age. And yeah, we're open to the public.
The UBC NTV Derby is scheduled for the 28th of May 2023 at the Mutesa II Stadium in Wankulukuku. Gates will open at 10 a.m. with the main game at 4 p.m.
Uganda Canoe Federation, in conjunction with Kayak, the Nile and Jinja City, has hosted a regatta at Speak Camp Bujagali, whose best qualify for the Nationals due in August. The fun-filled event attracted more than 70 participants, including females that exhibited passion.
Speak Camp Bujagali in Jinja has hosted the River Nile Sprint Regatta that was organized by Uganda Canoe Federation in conjunction with Kayak the Nile and Jinja City.
Today, we are at Bujagali in Jinja to host the River Nile Regatta. We have had about 65 male participants and 12 ladies. We have had a 500-meter sprint.
It was a cordially contested event that attracted some of the best in the Eastern region in pursuit of places at the National Championship due later this year.
Tutandikidde Jinja olwaleero nenga tugenda kutalaaga eggwanga lyonna. Tujja kuddako mu Central, tugendeko mu West, tugendeko mu East, tumalirize. Bwe tunaamala tulyoke tuteeketeeke National Sprint. Ng'oluvannyuma lwa National Sprint ate tuba tweyongerayo paka ku international. Abazanyi baffe ne tubaweera ddala exposure.
After a very tight and interesting contest among the men, Musa Bangiri secured the victory, but after a photo finish that put Brian Mugulu in second, while Caleb Tusubira finished third. Others that exhibited quality skill included Ivan Otak, Mato Rogers, Joseph Magala, Ashraf Moya, and Patrick Anakule.
For the first time in many seasons, the Uganda Premier League will be decided on the final day. 3 teams, SC Villa, Kampala Capital City Authority and Vipers SC, are all within touching distance of the league. A detailed report follows this way.
For the first time in a while, Ugandan football fans are to be treated to a special final day as 3 teams chase the National League title. Going into match day 28, record winners are Sports Club Villa, reigning champions Vipers SC and Kampala Capital City Authority Football Club are number 1, 2 and 3 respectively, and separated by just 2 points. Sports Club Villa is atop with 52 points, with Vipers in second and KCCA in third, themselves only separated by goal difference, sitting on 50 points. On the final day this Saturday, Villa will host Uganda Revenue Authority. Vipers is at home against Busoga United, while Bright Stars visit Kampala Capital City Authority Football Club. The ramifications are this simple: Villa wins and all others will be in vain. But if Villa draws and Vipers and KCCA win by the same margin, then Vipers, that has a better goal difference over KCCA, will win the title. KCCA can also win if, in the situation of Villa failing to win, can outsmart Vipers with better goals scored. The other scenario is KCCA can also win the title if both Villa and Vipers lose and they simply beat Bright Stars. For title drama, be either at Wankulukuku for Villa versus URA, Kitende for Vipers home clash against Busoga United, or at the MTN Philippo Mondi Stadium in Lugogo for KCC against Bright Stars. If you don't fancy any of the above, check your local listings for which Uganda Premier League final day clash is in your vicinity. Be sure that by the time you watch the UBC News tonight again, the winner will be known because all kickoffs are simultaneous at 3 p.m.
And that brings us to the end of our 10 o'clock edition. Thank you for being a lovely audience with me, Wadulo, Mark Arnold, Mugulu Mohammed on Sign Language. Have yourselves a lovely weekend.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.